Welcome to Sagrada Familia, an 18th century architecture which has become one of the most popular tourist and pilgrimage sites of Europe. Before we explore this religious complex, we were briefed by our tour guide about the history and symbolic meaning of this beautifully designed masterpiece, which, despite not being finished, was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. La Sagrada Familia is a building that Architect Antoni Gaudí masterfully designed, and despite not being finished, UNESCO made it a World Heritage Site in 1984 because of its unique architecture and how Gaudí created something so artistic and innovative. Gaudí's main goal for La Sagrada Familia was to teach people about Catholicism through architecture. The best place to see is right outside the church. The four towers represent the 12 apostles, and the intricately carved facades at the base show the life of Christ from birth to death and then resurrection. Out of the three main facades, the east, also known as the Nativity Facade, is the only one to be constructed under Gaudí's watchful eye. The Passion Facade is built to open to visitor, while the Glory Facade is still under construction. Entrance to the Sagrada Familia is via its Nativity Facade. It faces the rising sun, symbolizing the birth of Jesus Christ. The Nativity Facade, which celebrates the birth of Christ, has three portals: hope, mercy, and faith. The faces on the portal of mercy were done using the death masks of the deceased people of Barcelona and molds of the workers' faces. He conceptualized to honor all those who worked tirelessly in building the Sagrada Familia that they had to embed the faces of the builders within the stone of the building. This was Gaudí's way of making the church a part of the people. The interiors of Sagrada Familia are designed to represent nature, with columns as trees and various creatures hidden throughout the basilica. Moreover, he believed that the work of humans should not exceed the work of God, and he designed the central tower to be a meter shorter than the Montjuïc Hill of Barcelona. The mosaic on the roof of Sagrada Familia is designed to reflect the moonlight. It turns into a kind of lighthouse to guide seamen back home. Moreover, the reflection of the sun in the roof was purposely intended for the structure to be visible from all points of the city. Gaudí drew his inspiration from nature when constructing the structure. It is quite contradictory because the majority of cathedral buildings have straight designs. He skillfully designed the structure from what he saw in nature. In March, spring begins. The earth blooms and everything is reborn. At the Sagrada Familia, Gaudí associated this beginning of life directly with the arrival of Jesus, but also with the beginning of the day as the Nativity facade looks at the east. Each of the three portals on this facade is full of flora and fauna, filling them with naturalism chosen carefully and intentionally to reinforce the symbolic meaning of the various scenes. The interior pillars resemble trees, and when looking up, the shapes of the pillars change as do those of the trees. Gaudí designed images of turtle and tortoise on these pillars to represent the water and earth. It is interesting to know when the building started, it was meant to be a simple Roman Catholic church. Later on, things changed and it became a cathedral. However, when Pope Benedict XVI declared it as a basilica, inside the Sagrada Familia are symbols of the four evangelists, which could be seen and represented by symbols that could be seen on the lamps which illuminate the Sagrada Familia interior with rainbows of light once the sun sets. They are the winged man for Matthew, winged lion for Mark, winged ox for Luke, and eagle for John. Only two people are buried in Sagrada Familia. It's architect Antoni Gaudí and the man who started it all, Buco Bella. La Sagrada Familia means the Holy Family in English. The church is designed to honor Jesus' family with towers representing him, his mother, the four evangelists, and the 12 apostles. Gaudí carefully used vibrant colors of its stained glass windows. The church is painted with beautiful red, green, blue, and yellow combination, symbolizing the cycle of life from sunrise to sunset. The Nativity facade was built between 1894 and 1930. It is the facade with the most direct style and influenced by Gaudí himself. The Passion facade is dedicated to the death of Christ and is designed to be plain and simple, with rigid shapes, harsh lines, and composed of bare stone The facade is representative of a skeleton. This facade has fewer sculptures in comparison to the Nativity facades. Scenes from the Last Supper, Judas' kiss, the crucifixion, and the resurrection are depicted. The Glory facade is still for completion. Once completed, it will be the tallest and principal facade of the Sagrada Familia. It represents Jesus' glory and ascension into heaven. The construction is entirely dependent on private funding. It received the name Expiatory Temple because the government or the church did not support the building. Approximately, it received 25 million a year through entrance tickets and private donations. It has been under construction for over a century. It started in 1882 and is expected to be completed in 2026.